Right, it's weapon fusion time. We will soon be free of the dreaded Mara. But Garisu must continue to harbour Mara for the time being. It's just so weird that Mara is actually quite a good persona in this game, so if it weren't for how disturbing it looks, I'd probably keep it. Anyway, it's a half moon. We are slowly approaching that final full moon, and we skip straight to school. Which means we skip to the amazing music, which is good. And I guess now has an exclamation mark above her head to signify that we have started a social link now. Oh, this music is so great. Today, though, we are not going to be seeing Aigis. We're actually going to be seeing... I just realized I probably should have talked to the guy to fast travel. We're going to be seeing Mitsuru, actually. At the moment, we're pretty much just going to be bouncing back and forth between Aigis and Mitsuru, because those are basically the only two social links we have left. Apart from Sun, which is actually going to max out... Well, I can just say it, tomorrow. Even Judgment's done. And from one awesome song into another. I really hate to interrupt that song. We should get enough time to hear it over the final course of the game, but yeah, sorry if I'm silent for a lot of this, I just love all this music. Like, overall, I do feel, personally, that Persona 4 and 5 have better overall soundtracks than this game. But I really like Memories of the City and Memories of the School. Just those songs in particular are great. Now, we can probably afford to refuse this, actually. Hey, we can make Gungnir now. And we can make this, which I've probably shown before, but it's an ice-elemented gloves. But what we're really looking for is this. Mara makes evil gloves. Fist spurs with demonic power. Yes, Mara makes the ultimate fist weapon in the game. That's all that needs to be said about that. Let's go ahead and do this. 2 days, so on the 11th. And I just want to check here. I do... Oh, and I can't. Okay. But I do still have Michael. I was going to actually check what Loki makes, because every full Persona actually has a unique effect with their weapon fusions. Every full weapon only has one power. Something that I actually didn't realize on my first playthrough, but yeah, full is kind of special. They all have various unique effects. I think Orpheus has chance of inflicting any status. The real... Why am I going to the shrine? Oh well, I guess I can take this place out, but yeah, I was jumping the gun there for Sunday. The real one that you want to be concerned with, though, is the ultimate full, which, Okay, yeah, I know I have talked to you before. You're just in a different place now. And you're just another cult spokesperson. Yeah, there is actually an additional ultimate full persona, but we won't be covering that for a little while longer. I guess we get to hear more of this music. It's also kind of a shame now, like, there's not really that much left to do in the game. I've done most of Elizabeth's requests. That's still continuing. Okay, you're saying something slightly different to what you normally say. Not sure where the stalking couple is. They might be somewhere else in the town. I might try and look for them later. For now, though, let's go and talk to Mitsuru. And we have Gabriel, good, let's spend time. And this link is officially considered a romance at this point. I would say I wouldn't be sure whether or not it affects Aigis in terms of jealousy, but Aigis isn't even at the point where she would suffer from jealousy anyway. And this music kind of feels a bit out of place here, but you can tell Memories of the School is in some ways a rearrangement of this song, which is actually really awesome. Well, let's go for it, but as long as they're not places that use up time, because then we would immediately fail that challenge. And, well, every restaurant does spend time during the day, so I'm not sure how far they're going to get. Pretty short rank here, but still decent. That gets Empress up to rank 7. It is getting close, but you can tell why this link is considered one of the trickier ones in the game. You can't start it until very, very late, and so you don't have much time to get this one done. Yeah, if you manage to reverse this via jealousy, you're in for a really bad time. But really not that much else to say, and I don't know if anyone's going to be saying anything new in the dorm. X-Day. It's actually kind of funny, because that was originally the name of one of the deadlines in Persona 5. At least in the earlier trailers. It might have been changed later on. Well, I would do that, but we've already been to Tartarus for quite a while. Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess studying takes your mind off of things, though it's not like this test really matters at this point. Okay, you're not saying anything new, but Junpei was, so I'm glad I talked to him. Anything new from... yeah, okay, I guess this. I'm pretty sure everyone else is saying similar stuff now. Anything on TV? Stock market news. Well, I guess it has some benefits. Might as well go to the arcade, it's mostly just to hear more of this music. But we don't have much time left, and we're slowly getting to the point where some of our personas are going to be sticking with us until endgame, so definitely going to be beneficial to get some stat boosts. And yes, I do remember my stat boosting cards. I will be using those, but not for a little while longer. Just realized we only have a little bit to go until we have Hallel, and then that's going to be really insane. I do not want to be boosting a Abaddon. I'll be getting rid of you quite quickly. Now, let's see who I could boost here. Anante is actually a persona that I'm likely to be taking later on, just for its fusion spell. You see almost everyone using them for the bonus boss. For now, though, I might see if Susanoo... well, it depends. If we get a strength boost out of this, then I'll go for Susanoo, but if not... Magic. Yeah, something different, please. Yolunga's already pretty decent. I probably won't be needing Gabriel later on, although I would really like that hard item, actually. Might as well go for more magic on Odin, then. Even though your magic is already pretty overkill to begin with. And so, tomorrow we have a very important event. Oh, and we're tired, so yeah, let's just sleep. It's been a while since I've actually been in tired status. I remember back at the very beginning of the game where we actually tried to get tired constantly. How times have changed. Oh yeah, Monday is also a holiday because it's coming of age day. Actually, kind of ironic, though, because, it's sort of weird. Normally, you'd like a day off from school, but at this point... let's just see if Tanaka's still selling Doomsday stuff. Yeah, still Doomsday stuff. Seems like he's pretty much out of stuff to sell now. As far as stuff that's practical to us. I'll talk more about that irony about tomorrow once we get there. It's kind of strange. Hi there, I guess. You have anything new to say? Yeah, no, that's the same stuff. Anything new on today? On the next episode of Phoenix Ranger Featherman R, episode 46, The Great Devil's Tomato Farm. Owl doesn't like tomatoes! Still as silly as ever. Still as silly as ever. Yeah, nothing new out of you. Just gonna quickly check to see if anyone has anything. Oh, okay, you are saying something new. Okay, 17th and 16th. I wonder if we actually are supposed to see Mitsuru one of those days. I'll have to check. And yeah, everyone's still saying the same stuff, apart from Akihiko and Mitsuru. We don't have to worry about those national tests, because we're not in our final year of school. Yeah, normally those would be terrifying, but in this case, we have something much, much more pressing to be afraid of. Now we need to go to the shrine. And, as always, get your tissues ready. There really isn't all that many other people here. But, it is time to finally max out this link. Oh, well, it's not like we aren't used to that by now. Finally finished. Well, it's sad, but it's bittersweet at the same time. It's interesting. I think we understand. This final rank up always gets me emotional. Not really much else to say. Other than, with the sun socialing at its maximum level, we can now create Asura King, the Grand Being. So as you could probably tell by the fact they specifically referred to this one as Asura King, Asura is not an individual being, but rather a whole class of beings in both Buddhism and Hinduism. They're usually depicted as having 6 arms and having multiple faces on their head, sometimes multiple heads too. But what they actually are varies a bit between religions. In Hinduism, they're powerful demigods and demons that can be either good or evil. The evil ones compete for power with the more benevolent devas. In Buddhism, Asuras are the lowest rank of demigods, and in some traditions are considered addicted to passions like wrath, pride, and envy, And in these traditions, being reborn as an Asura is considered one of the 4 bad things to come back as, along with animals, Preta, and being in Naraka. Sometimes humans that had good intentions but committed bad acts are reborn as Asuras. Other accounts, though, say that Asuras can be either good or evil just like humans. The leaders of the Asuras are called Asura Lords, or Asura Kings as they're referred to in this game. The specific Asura that appears in this game is identified as Viroshana, or Dainichi Nyorai in Japan. Viroshana in Hinduism refers to both a king of the Asuras and also a solar deity, and this is probably why he's part of the Sun Arcana. Of course, many gamers will probably be familiar with a particular take on the Asura myth that involves an extremely angry Liam O'Brien punching gigantic gods in the face. In gameplay, Asura is a very high-level persona, level 85. And they do have some pretty decent stats and some decent resistances. Unfortunately, they still have a weakness to Dark, but at the point where you confuse them, you should probably have access to Null Dark inheritance, so it shouldn't be too bad. Asura is a special fusion of all of the other Sun Arcana personas though, so you'll need some way to get Null Dark onto one of them. Asura's skill set is a combination of being both a physical and a magical powerhouse, learning Akasha arts as well as Archidyne and Megadolaon, as well as Spellmaster to lessen the cost of magic. Add in Tetrakarn as a defensive skill, and Asura is very versatile. The main notable thing about him though is that one skill I've highlighted in red, Unshaken Will. This skill is exclusive to Asura, though it can be passed down to other personas. It has the exact same effect as the Tome of the Void. It renders the user immune to all mental ailments. So fear, panic, distress, charm, and rage. Personally, I find the Tome of the Void is a little bit easier to get because Abaddon doesn't require a maxed out social link. But Unshaken Will does free up your accessory slots, which can be used for other things like the Sacrificial Idol or an item that nulls an element. Of course, only the protagonist has access to Unshaken Will, so if you want to block ailments on the rest of the party, you'll need the Tome of the Void. Speaking of items, Asura is also important in weapon fusion. Fusing him with any Nile weapon will give you Koromaru's ultimate weapon, Vajra. Like all ultimate weapons, it has 450 power and gives plus 10 to all stats. Being a knife though, Koromaru is the only one who can use this, so unless you're planning on using Koromaru a lot, you don't really need to go for this weapon. But if you like Koromaru, it's definitely a useful investment. So, it's actually pretty heavily implied that rank 9 was actually the last time we saw him alive.
How was your day?
And yeah. But with that, we have another link maxed out. Found a reason for his existence, finally. And with that, we only have 2 left. Empress and Aeon. We're nearing the end. Tomorrow is actually somewhat strange, and I'll cover that once we get there. First though, I suppose we should go ahead and do the arcade stat boost. One thing to mention though is, if you want to experiment with a certain thing tomorrow in the way that I'm going to, you want to make sure that you save at the dorm first, because one of the possible outcomes is kind of bad. Especially for what I want to do at this point, which is fuse a lot of personas. I'll be talking about what we'll be trying tomorrow once we get there. For now, though, let's see what they're offering at the arcade. Oh yeah, it's Sunday, so they've got everything. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and boost Susanoo's strength, I think. You do have Vorpal Blade, right? Yes, you do. Good, okay. Dodge ice and evade ice. I would say that that's pretty much effectively immunity to ice, but in P5, I do have Evade Wind on Ryuji, and I put Tsukukaja on him, and he still got hit by a certain mini-boss's wind spells repeatedly, so yeah, not exactly the most reliable thing. Gonna go ahead and sleep, because I think I do plan on going to Tartarus tomorrow. And yeah, I definitely am going to want a good effect out of this thing tomorrow, because we will be, fighting the Reaper if we are going into Tartarus now. So, today is Coming of Age Day. There's no school today. Normally, this would be amazing. Except the only two social links that we're currently working on are school-related. So, yeah, Mitsuru and Aigis, both of them are here in the dorm, and we can't hang out with them. But I'll just talk to everyone here first. They're talking about some pretty interesting things. Well, Igor would agree with that. Okay, that's really something pretty serious. And that is actually really bizarre out of context. But yeah, it makes sense when she says it like that. Yes, we do. But we have to wait 20 days for the chance to do something. We've reached the end of Tartarus now. The only thing left to do is wait and prepare. So yes, Aigis is there, we can't hang out with her. Mitsuru is here, and she's still saying the same thing about the national admission test. So, for the first time ever, we have a completely free day in the schedule. And it really says something about how ridiculously tight Persona 3 FES's max social link schedule is, that now is the first time we've ever got a free day. And still more apathy syndrome news. So, you can spend today really however you want. But there's really not all that much we can do. Sometimes on free days, you can spend time with social links that you've already maxed out, but most of our maxed out social links are already here. You can also study at your desk, which is useless because we've already maxed academics. You can just go back to sleep, which is also useless because we already have great condition from last night. We could go to the restaurants, but all that is just stat increases, and I suppose I could just show what that looks like. It will use up the day and will be completely useless. There is one useful thing that we can do with our time today, though. Potentially useful, that is. Oh no. Wow, even people's parents are caught up with the cult. Oh, that's nice. And, well, another apathy syndrome person there. Well, probably a good thing you can't understand what that guy means. So, if we try and check out Wild Duck Burger here... it will tell us that we don't need to increase our courage, so this is useless to us. You can increase your courage there, but karaoke is much more efficient because it only uses up the nighttime, which early in the game, you don't have any social links that occur then. So, yeah, it's really not all that necessary. I'm just gonna go around and check to see if I can find the stalking couple. I suppose today is the perfect day to go around the town, seeing as we don't really have much else to do. I guess so, although, yeah, Life Outtakes is... Well, I mean, I suppose there are shows on TV that are kind of dedicated to that sort of thing. Hopefully. They know about... This is bad. This is very, very bad. Well, might want to tune out at the next part. That's not going to end well for you. I remember that guy. I don't think he was here last time we saw him, though. Multiple, but that's actually quite a nice conversation. Is there anyone down here? I guess we'll just make this checking out the town day. Oh, there's the cat we helped earlier. Yeah, it is pretty creepy that they've put this all over the place. Is there anywhere else I could check out? Probably not really. Well, I do need to go pick up the evil gloves at the antique store. And I totally miss where you leave this area. Yeah, I kind of feel like this whole area here, Port Island Station, they could have done more with that area. I don't think there are ever any social links that you have to go there for. Really, the only times you do are for side quests and movies. Kind of a shame because it's a pretty decent area and there's some interesting NPC conversations there. Yeah, that doesn't sound good. Oh, that's terrifying. Everyone here seems to be taken in by Nyx, and those people all have apathy syndrome. So let's pick up this weapon, and I might as well check out the police station too. Yeah, I'm kind of stalling, but there really isn't much to do today. So we now have the evil gloves. And let's see if we can make something else. Guess I don't really need that now that Junpei has his ultimate weapon. I want to go ahead and make this. Firstly, though, I just want to check out Loki's thing. Yeah, 1 power, but all ailments medium. Kind of fits with Loki, actually. That could be pretty decent sometimes. But this is what I want to make. Well, it'll be ready in 2 days as well. Yeah, the best one-handed sword in the game is a lot trickier to get. Doesn't seem like there are any decent accessories at B Blue V for a very long time. I could at least check that, but... Oh, you're having a sale. It's weird, like, the sales here seem really arbitrary. Well, we can get Galahad's sword, which I'm pretty sure I've already seen in Tartarus before, but completely pales in comparison to Masakato's katana. And we found one of those already. Actually don't have a really good bow yet, but we will be getting an ultimate one probably eventually. And I'm sure I did find one of those. Well, that's new. Still don't really like that though. And, well, we don't need this now that we have the evil gloves. Already found one of those. So yeah, most are already showing up in... I found this one in practice sessions of Tartarus. Shadow Rend is a pretty cool name though. Okay, better armor for Aegis, +3 magic though, still not that great. And we've been finding these in Tartarus too. Silver Plate. This is a lot more expensive and all it gives is +3 magic, which is Aegis just doesn't need. This has an unknown effect, which probably has a greater chance of being more important, but I can find armor in... yeah, in chess and Tartarus, so I'm not really sure. Actually... I promised that I'd show these off later on. I might as well start buying some of these. We'll be getting a lot more yen soon, so I can afford to buy most of these, actually. Don't have that yet. No, I would not like to equip that now. That is much worse than what we currently have. And let's just quickly check what the fine statuette sells for 1 million yen. Really? No reason not to sell it at this point. Probably could sell that brand purse as well. I mean, I don't think we're going on many Sunday dates at this point. We might with Mitsuru later on, but I'm really not sure. So, at this point, there's nothing really left to do on this day. It's kind of a shame, because on Respect the Age Day, we did something pretty significant to that holiday, maxing out the Hierophant Arcana. Coming of Age Day, we're not really doing all that much. So, I just realized with everything that I did just then, I'm going to need to reload if I get the worst outcome from this. So, here at the shrine, there's a few things that you can do that use up time. This, I've mentioned this before, the offeratory box. This raises your academics, but it uses up time and we don't need to raise academics. There's also the fortune drawing for social link points, which we don't actually need today. So I thought we should spend today doing this. This is the first time we've had a chance to to try the Inari Sushi. If you pray at this shrine, several different effects can potentially happen. It is random. Most are very beneficial though. It, however, does use up the day. So if you're following a Max Social Links guide, do not do this unless you have a free day in the schedule. But we do have a free day now, so I'm going to go ahead and try. There's only one bad thing that can potentially happen here. So let's see what we get. Hey, you're not supposed to show up for another game. Aegis' face suddenly entered your mind. Okay, so when I first saw this, I thought it meant that you were getting social link points, and because of it, I was worried about triggering jealousy. This is not true. What that is, and that's actually the most common thing you can get from the Inari Sushi, is that one stat on one party member will increase by 1 to, I think, 4 points. And yeah, we are going to go to Tartarus tonight. So what that meant is that Aegis just got one of her stats raised. Now, I'm not really going to be able to tell which stat did get raised because I can't really memorize her exact stats as they were last time. But one of her stats did go up by a few points. At first I thought this meant that they increased a great condition as well, and I would have loved that because that would mean you could control when Junpei's Vorpal Blade is at its best. Well, randomly, but oh well. You can't, unfortunately. So the other effects of Inari Sushi. So that was a 30% chance, the highest that can happen. The other potential effects are 10% chance of it being harder to get tired, a 10% chance of an experience multiplier of 1.3 times, a 10% chance of getting double money in Tartarus, a 10% chance of more chance of item drops from enemies in Tartarus, a 20% chance of useless items changing into more useful items. I'm not sure what that affects, but I'm guessing it affects things like the odd morsel and stuff like that. And a 10% chance of increased probability of fusion accidents. That's the one that I was wanting to avoid, and thankfully I didn't get it. But yeah, that one can be kind of problematic. That's the one way in this game that you can boost the chance of fusion accidents. Normally it's a 1 in 64 chance. I think it drops to 1 in 32 if you get that quote-unquote bonus. But anyway, that's all that we could do today. So tonight, we'll be heading out to Tartarus. You know what that means? It's time to face off against a formidable opponent. See you then.